Hi, lovely people. This is the Kitten from Kitten in the Goat in Kendal. I help beginner knitters untangle all their tangle and get enjoying their craft. Today we're going to have a little word about tension. I mentioned it in passing in our last pattern release video. Tension is the art of getting your stitches even. A lot of people have a tight tension or a loose tension. We're going to have a look at that in depth, and we're going to have a look at a few little tips and techniques and what you can do to make your tension more consistent.
Down a little alley in the heart of Kendal town is a tiny independent yarn shop. Welcome to the wonderful world of the kitten and the goat.
I've just grabbed a few things off the shelf that's dotted around the shop to show you what I mean. Tension is the evenness of the stitches. It's getting everything the same size. That's what we've just done. Does that show? It's probably... Oh, here we go. This has got some... You can spot occasionally where I've relaxed too much. You see that stitch is slightly bigger. Happens, but it's not the end of the world. But it's consistently getting your stitches even. Even on the big stuff. Here's a little one. The little tree we've just done for the advent calendar. Neat little lines. All the little bumps. How close can we get? See how all the tops and tails sit in a neat little line together. Even when you go to the great big sizes, this is the asymmetric shawl in a super chunky. You see, you've got the line of green there, pretty much consistent along the whole thing. Now, the trick is to relax. I'm sorry, there is no other. That's it. You can't knit in a temper. You can't. You get so tight and tense. This is one of the reasons it's so good for you. You have got to relax. Take a deep breath. Get yourself settled. Have a little wriggle with your bottom. Drop those shoulders down. Think about the space between your ears and your shoulders. The shoulder blades down your back. Have a little wriggle. And when you put... Let's start off with this bit, shall we? You need to keep your tail out the way. So you just pick it up. You can pick it up there. You can pick it up there. You can pick it up there. It doesn't matter. And quite often I start off there, and after half an hour I get tired. That finger gets tired, so I move it up a bit. All this does is hold it out the way. You're not hanging on to it anywhere. You're not wrapping it round twice and pulling on it. All you're doing is keeping it to the side, out of the way. You put your point in. This finger here brings it round and relaxes, and the needle pulls it through. I had a lady say to me the other day, well, don't you have to give it a tug to keep it tight? No. Just let the size of the needle create the size of the stitch you want. You wrap that round there and the needle pulls it through. You should have enough softness in the stitch to get the point of the needle through underneath. Just take it round and relax. A lot of beginners think they've got to hang on to it. They pull it really tight and they're hanging on like this, right like that, and you're going to have problems on the way back because that isn't thick enough. The gap in that isn't big enough to get the needle through. Another thing, when you very first start knitting, you struggle to hold everything in your hands at once. So a lot of beginners rest that on their elbow. They put the point of the needle through and they drop everything completely. so they can put that round there, and then they let go of everything and put that through there, and that's much too loose. You just need that to keep it tension out of the way. The tension means the pull on this thread. You're pulling through. This finger's doing the work. These fingers here are holding the work down here, so you can see where you're working the stitches. They're not holding the needle. You'll find it useful if you've got two fingers resting behind and your thumb in the front. That holds everything steady while you let go. This hand stays rigid. This hand goes up and down and up and down and up and down like that. So you just, that's it. When you come, you can get really fast. I'm just going to bomb onto the end of the row so that that's it. I want a nice clean fresh row to start off, and we'll think about rib. When you're changing your yarn backwards and forwards to do rib, you knit two, you bring the yarn to the front, just let it lie in the gap in between. You don't have to pull at it, you don't have to do anything complicated with it, just switch it so that it's lying across the front of the needle. And then when you put the needle in, same thing. This is hanging on to the work. This, I don't need that hand. I've got two fingers at the back. My thumb has got pressure on my first finger. It's keeping everything solid and tight. So you pick up your yarn and you just pull that through. Same thing with your next purl. Now you're going to go your knit. You put it to the back. Just let it sit there. It's just there. Let it sit there. And then you're going to do the knit. Just like that. Relax. Think happy thoughts. Think waterfalls and rivers. And that, see, even in that little bit, see, that's nice and neat. Nice straight lines. And, you know, it's knitting. We will get stressed. We will get tense. Things happen. Don't worry about it. If you find you really are too relaxed in your knitting and you're getting droopy stitches, it won't do the wear of the finished fabric any good at all. So if you really can't master keeping it tight without pulling, if your stitches are too loose, then if you go down half a size in the needle will be a smaller size that you're working on, but because you're more relaxed, your loop will be slightly bigger, so it'll make up that tiny little extra space. But practice, just practice, be really comfortable. This is time for yourself. This is time that you've got your own space, you're creating something. You know, just relax. See, and this is why it's just so healthy. Bit of time to yourself, bit of peace and quiet, nobody screaming at you. Relax your hands, let the needle do the work. If you've got anything else you'd like me to look at and do a quick little special for you, just drop me a message. See you soon, people.